Welcome to Sip No Tech. I'm Alex. How you doing? We have a phone unboxing, and this is the first one of this particular type of phone that we've ever unboxed, and it's a Go phone, an Android Go phone. We've never had something like that. If you don't know what Android Go is this initiative by Google where it's really low-end Android phone. It's kind of replacing like the One program. It's meant for people to buy at really cheap price points, but you're running a basically stock Android experience, and they utilize certain apps on Android to make it run on ridiculously low specs, usually 1 GB of RAM or less. And that's exactly what this here has. So Xiaomi and the Redmi brand has made this phone, and it has 1 GB of RAM, and it runs a Snapdragon 425. So it's a very low-end chipset, very low amount of RAM. 1 GB is absolutely bare bones minimum. And this is the global version, I may add. So this should get LTE bands for global SIM networks like AT&T and T-Mobile. This has band 2 and 4, I believe, so I should be able to get some LTE reception here in Los Angeles. So once again, Redmi Go has that 5-inch display. It's 720p, so at least it's 720p. It should be fine here. And let's pull this out and see what else we have. I have this in the blue color. And then they do give you a European charger, but in the box they did give me an adapter. Doesn't really matter. You can use your US charger because it has a micro USB cable going into a regular USB-A cable. So you plug in that USB-A to any of your charging bricks, it'll work. So we don't really need this stuff here. Any headphones, not that we really want them. Nope, no headphones. So that is all we have here. Alrighty, so I've had a little bit of time to play around after setting this phone up, had the Wi-Fi going, checking out the apps and things like that. And right off the bat, there's a few things that I wanted to note that I'm kind of happy about. So the first thing I wanted to say is, I didn't notice this at first, but this is a cheap phone, right? It's plastic, it's very low priced, but they have some intangibles. So Xiaomi put some intangibles in here that you just don't see in these price points. Like less than 300 bucks, you don't see these things. Curved backs, look at that. Little curved edges on the back here. Rounded corners. Look how nice that is. Even though this is plastic, this looks like the design for the Galaxy S6 and above, right? Those rounded edges, rounded corners, rounded sides, so you can grip it nicely in your hand. It's not squarish, it's not sharp, it's nice and round, so it actually is very nice to hold in your hand. You usually don't see that in these really low-end price points, like 80 bucks for this. That's pretty nice. The buttons are also really tactile. So I'm actually pretty happy with build quality here. So the interesting thing about this particular phone are the Go apps. So Google has pre-installed these like stripped down versions of their main apps onto this phone. So instead of Chrome, you get Google Go, which is their Chrome app, YouTube Go, Gmail Go, Assistant Go, Maps Go. Everything is a stripped down, more effective version of their apps. Except for Photos. Photos is actually the full-blown app, and Drive was not there. I actually downloaded Drive myself. But yeah, the Go apps, we'll take a look at that really quickly later. And the Play Store, the full Play Store is actually on this phone, so you can actually download all or any apps that you want. Of course, storage is a potential issue on this phone because we don't have a lot of storage here. However, there is a micro SD card slot that you can insert right here in one of the slots. Let's see. So I just wanted to show you guys the bloatware, right? So the Xiaomi usually has a lot of bloatware, but for like the Android One phones and also for this particular phone, there's not a lot of stuff. Interesting enough, there's Facebook Lite. This game is not here. Skyforce I downloaded to test out just to see if we can handle it. But Facebook Lite was one of these bloatware apps, which is interesting that Xiaomi has it. But you can uninstall it if you want. And it's nice that even though they put it on here, it's the light version. So it goes with the whole stripped down version of apps, the theme of it. But you also have some other apps from Xiaomi like FM radio, the music app, sound recorder, and something that I never use is Mi Drops. Mi Drop is in every Xiaomi phone. That's always on here. You can't get rid of that, unfortunately. But yeah, Pretty clean phone, not a lot of stuff. Oh, and cleaner. Pretty clean phone, not a lot of stuff. One thing I also did notice is, unlike Android One phones, where you can swipe left to get your Google Now cards, or it's no longer called Google Now cards, but your Google homepage, you don't have that here. You can't access that. You have to press the Google button to kind of take you to something like that. But even then, it's not the same as having those Google Now cards on the side. So unfortunately, we don't have that here on this particular launcher. But otherwise, it's a really clean launcher. I really like how they have the whole like pixel experience where you swipe up for the apps instead of pressing a button. That's a terrific feel. It makes it feel like it's much more of a higher price point experience than it actually is. It's $80. Before we go into the Go apps, let's take a look at the cameras. Cameras are very basic stuff. You're using this for reference photos, for emergencies. Like if you get in a car crash, you can take pictures to report to your insurance. That's kind of how I see this. We're not getting a lot of quality and detail in here. Exposure is not going to be good. Of course, we'll test it all out, but you know, it's not that great. But at least it's not horrible, like the worst thing in the world. So it at least is usable, but we'll check that out in our full review. But actually, let's look at some Go apps here. So the most interesting Go app is this YouTube Go app. So let's take a look at this. So if I'm watching this video, you click on it. Actually, let's look at this home menu first, right? So this is not like your actual home menu for your regular YouTube apps or what you're used to on your web browser. You have your subscription bar and you have your home page, right? But if you click on a video, the first thing that they ask you is what quality you want to stream. So you basically have to choose whether you want to stream at 360, 480, or you want 720p immediately, and it actually shows you the amount of megabytes it requires to play this particular video. So that's actually pretty interesting. When you set up your phone to typically, like any other smartphone, you have that regular standard setup. If you want to have your highest quality, there's a setting you can put that so every video plays that. Well, for this particular one, you actually choose the quality of the video you want to play. So right now I'm streaming at 720p. I have the volume off, but the volume actually gets pretty loud here too. But yeah, it's really interesting that it does that. And if you do a full screen, it's like watching content on any regular smartphone. And 720p on this, at least from the limited time I've used it, viewing angles are pretty good and the colors aren't bad here too. So it's not that bad of a display. It's usable, definitely usable. So I am very, very happy with this particular layout. Also, unlike the actual YouTube app, you see I can't swipe on the picture to lower it to go back on the home page. That is interesting. I didn't know that until I was using this. You actually have to go back. You have to physically press the back button to go back into your home page. So that's one major difference in that YouTube app. But yeah, every video you do click on, it starts with what do you want to stream it at? And it gives you a little info there about the video you're watching. So I think that's kind of cool. It's definitely utilizing it so that you're playing the videos effectively on this particular phone. Also, the Google Chrome the Chrome app. I have been playing with this, and I don't think this is as effective on this phone, this Chrome app. I mean, it's not bad. You actually can read stuff, scroll through things pretty quickly. It's like a regular experience on a much higher spec phone. However, I do think this Mint browser here that is made by Xiaomi, it's not too bad. Let me get rid of that. Yeah, it's actually pretty smooth. I actually enjoyed using this, at least, you know, the short time that I've been using it. Ooh, okay. Short time that I've been using it, I think I like using this particular browser more than Chrome on this particular phone. So that actually opened my eye to this Mint browser. I usually don't use those, you know, proprietary ones that are stuck on, you know, the phone, you know, from Samsung and from Xiaomi. But this Mint browser is not too bad. I'm going to keep trying to use it. But otherwise, let's do this really quick. I was going to save this for the full review, but I'm just going to launch this game, not really comment too much about it. But yeah, Skyforce, let's see how it plays. Okay, so at first I was pretty impressed that it's actually running the game. It takes a little long to load, but you know, it has 1 GB of RAM, and the and the game is considered huge for this particular phone, right? The storage it takes. But yeah, it's actually pretty playable for the most part. It's not fluid at all. Frames are dropping. You're not getting 60 frames. But yeah, for the most part, this game is definitely playable. I assume, you know, at higher levels, more insane things will be happening. So, yeah, you got to be really careful playing these games. You don't want to have your progress get messed up because you suddenly get like a frame drop. And yeah, and you do get frame drops. I've noticed frame dropping on this particular game. Right now, it's doing pretty well. Oh, there we go. We got a hiccup right there. And I think this would be a great minimalistic phone option, honestly. At least right now. We're going to have a full review coming out very soon. But initial impressions, I'm actually really impressed with this for $80. I'm kind of getting that like blue R1 HD vibe that I still feel like is a little bit better at the moment. But right now, initial impressions, I'm getting that vibe. I'm getting like a really high quality budget phone vibe, like super budget phone vibe from this, and I'm very happy about it. And that's hard to do for me. That's hard to make me happy in these like super low budget fields. But once again, I'm Alex with Hypno Tech. Be sure to come back for our full review. How is this going to survive in my pocket as like my minimalistic phone? You're going to have to come back to find out because I really don't know the answer. And I'll see you guys then.
If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button on the bottom so that you can get future alerts for when our videos come out. And be sure to comment, like, and all that good stuff.